momentee about this topic. And I have a very strong message for RTSA. Let me first of all say that, did you hear the story of the little girl, a toddler, in Kalulushi that was riding on a school bus? Now, when I say school bus, in Zambia, you can count official school buses on 2 fingers. There are 1 or 2 schools in the entire country that has a real school bus. A bus that belongs to the school, a bus that has a driver with a valid driver's license, a bus that meets the entire the criterion in as far as its worthiness on the road, a bus that is roadworthy. You can literally count those types of buses in this entire country of 20 million people. You can count those schools on 2 fingers. That's how rare they are. So this bus was just a minibus hired by the school to take children, pick them up from their homes, and take them to school. This bus had a gaping hole on the floor of the bus. You know what a gaping hole is? You know what it means to gape? To gape is kwasama. The school bus had a big hole that was covered with a piece of wood. This child, this girl was sitting on this bus, in this bus. You can say on, in, it's okay. The child was sitting in the bus next to her brother, and she fell through the floor of the bus because there was a big hole in the floor of the bus. This child's death, this child died a gruesome death. This child died a repugnant death. She died a gruesome, horrific death. Because of what? RTSA's negligence. RTSA, Road Transport Safety Agency. Type it in the comments. RTSA, Road Transport Safety Agency. That is the body that is supposed to regulate public transport, road safety. Do you know that in this country, right now, as we speak, 2026, guys, we are not living in the Stone Age. We are not living in the Iron Age. We are not we are not primates. We are living in 2026. Do you know that in Zambia 2026, there is no proper framework. There is no policy that talks about how school buses should be deployed. There is no policy in Zambia. There is no standard in Zambia. For example, in America, number 1, a school bus in America is yellow. Everybody knows when they see that yellow bus, they drive more carefully around it. When a school bus stops and it starts to blink its lights, each bus has to have a stop sign attached to the bus so that the public and the motorists that are driving in and around that bus are aware that this is a school bus with children. It's got a stop sign. It's got flashing lights. It's a yellow bus. Everybody is aware. Manje in Zambia. What do we have? No regulation, no policy, nothing. Just a chap who goes to a school and says, oh, madam, in a bus, can you hire me to take your children to school? The school there in Kalulushi probably never even asked for a driver's license. The school there in Kalulushi that hired that bus never inspected the bus. The only thing the school was concerned about is money. Because as you know, a school that hires a bus charges parents more money. So it's about money. It's about umuzulu chapa, amagrudas. That is all these people are concerned about. Nothing to do with the safety of our children. RTSA, the Ministry of Transport, this squarely falls on your shoulders. I'm telling you, the transport industry in this country is going to hell in a handbasket, and we're just watching it going to hell in a handbasket. And all we're doing is twiddling our thumbs, singing Kumbaya. Imagine if that was your child. You sent your two children, because this toddler, this little girl, went to school with her brother. Imagine you're the parent and you send your children off to school fully confident that they're going to come back later on that day. And then at some stage you get a phone call that rings. You answer the phone and they tell you, we have some horrible news. Your child has died. And you ask the question, why? How did this happen? Your child fell through the floor of a bus and she was crushed underneath it. Senseless death. Unnecessary death. A death that could have easily been avoided. Do you know, in this country, I'm telling you, Zambia katwishmayo. Ichalo chino. You go to intercity, go to drivers, no driver's license. Lights, they don't work. 95% of the vehicles, public transport vehicles in this country, dare I say more than that, are not roadworthy. And one of the reasons why that is, there are many reasons. Connection now. One of the reasons that most of the buses are not roadworthy is because they belong to law enforcement. There are so many officers who run buses. That is a conflict of interest. That is a conflict. You cannot have police officers owning public transport. That is wrong. That is wrong. Which officer is going to impound his own vehicle? RTSA, do your job. Ministry of Transport, do your job. What happened? No,